Good evening, everyone. Before I start tonight, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting, the Gadigal people of the Aurora Nation, and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. My name is Tiarnee Schafer. I am proud to stand here today and say I'm going to be the first Kalkadoon psychologist, if that all goes to plan. In saying that, I don't want to be the only one from my mob to be a psychologist, a doctor, or a lawyer. I want others from my mob to be able to pursue big and dream big and pursue tertiary education. When Michael asked me to speak tonight, I was shocked, in denial, and thought, is this fella for real? However, I gladly accepted the challenge, and here I stand before you all tonight. Upon reflection, I was able to break my life into 3 different pieces. The first being personal, second being community, and the third being my professional journey. As I said earlier, I'm a proud Kalkadoon woman from Mount Isa. I'm the first in my family to attend university, and this year I will be starting my 4th year studying a double degree in psychological science and business, majoring in HR at Griffith University in Brisbane. I'm a CareerTrackers student, an intern with Caltex, a student ambassador for the Australian Society for the Study of Brain Impairment, a student member of the Indigenous Allied Health Australia, a student member for the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Psychology People's Interest Group, and a student member for the Rural and Remote Psychology Interest Group. Lastly, and most importantly, I'm a student ambassador for students from my community back home, Mount Isa, also looking to pursue tertiary education. My childhood was mostly spent out bush, living off the land. At the age of 1, I used to go pig hunting with my dad. From weeks to months at a time, we would live off the land, sleep underneath the stars in our swag. During my primary school years, my dad had purchased a station. This station was located north of Mount Isa called Chidna Station. When we purchased this station, there was nothing but dirt and plenty of cattle. When I say cattle, I mean wild cattle that have never seen humans before. There was no house when we purchased this station, which meant no mainland water or electricity. Me and my family would used to wash our clothes in the river and sleep on the side of the river underneath a tarp, until we built a house, which was kind of like your donga, modern day donga, but it wasn't modern anyway at all. For those of you not familiar with the country, let me paint you a picture. Imagine me, little Tiarnee, and my younger brother Jaden, both aged around 11 and 12. We used to drive an old Toyota Ute around the station in the middle of nowhere. When we were younger, my dad would draw us a map in the dirt and show us where we had to get and the path we had to get back home. Back then, we didn't have reception or no mobile phones or Google Maps, so we had to follow the path and make sure we listened, otherwise, where would we end up? Who knows? During wet season, no shop food could get to us, which meant we had to live off the land, like our people did for thousands of years. We used to go hunting for turtle, goanna, kangaroo, and Dad used to give us meat and say it was cow meat, but it was actually wild horse. During my early years of primary school, I was homeschooled. I'm one of those, dare I say, rare Australians that was schooled via radio trans receiver, the School of the Year. Those not familiar, the School of the Year, we used to receive our textbooks and resources in the post at the start of each semester and communicate with our teacher and peers via two-way radio. That meant school was in our land room. Now, it did have a lot of perks, but it also had a lot of downfalls. We used to go to school in our lounge room, and we got to knock off early and do the things we used to love doing, going out bush and helping Dad muster and build fences. As I got older, my parents started to realize the importance of education. I had to move back to Mount Isa to live with my mum. I was pretty fortunate to live 2 different lifestyles. During school semester, I lived in town with Mum, and during school holidays, I got to get back on country with Dad. Growing up in Mount Isa, with a high population of Indigenous people, education was never a high priority. As most kids knew, they could drop out of school in year 10, either get a truck driving job in the mines, or start an apprenticeship. Through high school, I seen feelings of hopelessness and boredom get to many family and friends, and unfortunately, seen many family and friends turn to alcohol and drugs. I was fortunate that my family, especially my parents, really strived for me and my siblings to get a good education. Although I loved my schooling years, I didn't always receive the best marks. When it came time in year 12 to sit the QCS, Queensland's version of the HSC, my score a whopping 22. Let's just say the worst score you can receive is a 25. I was quite embarrassed and felt very dumb, but this for sure wasn't going to stop me from aiming high. When I finished school in year 12, I went straight into the workforce and started an Indigenous traineeship working in the mines. I quickly realised there had to be something more out there in life. Seeing the constant mental health issues around my home, I started asking myself, what could I do to help my mob? The answer? University and a psychology degree. I was fortunate enough to have guidance from my amazing stepmom Tanya, who is one of 90 Aboriginal psychologists in Australia. So one night during my shift at the mine, I was just researching university. I eventually applied, didn't think much of it until I received a letter in the mail saying I've been accepted into Griffith University to study a double degree in psychological science and business. I was very excited. I was excited and told my mum. She was excited yet confused and said, well, you better start saving, little girl. Relocating to Brisbane was quite a big culture shock. I learned something new every day, like you have to hail a bus down or it's not going to stop. Not everyone's hobbies are pigging, hunting, and listening to country music. It's definitely not cool to get around in best and less clothes, and you can't get around with a plastic bag as a handbag, Sinead. I came across CareerTrackers in my first week at university during Gamari Orientation Week. It sounded like an amazing opportunity, so I signed up. And I'm glad I did, as this program has had a positive impact on my life, both personally and professionally. Relocating to Brisbane from Mount Isa, I didn't know too many people. My friends I associate with on a day-to-day basis are pretty much my lifelong friends. Through being a student ambassador with CareerTrackers, I was able to go back to my hometown, Mount Isa, and show the students on the pathway to university, which no one was able to show me when I was that age. I wanted to tell those young boys and girls that just because you come from a small town doesn't mean you can't achieve big. As I said earlier, I'm a proud Caltex intern. There are now 7 of us, so this country girl must be doing something okay. I still remember my first day interning with Caltex. On Market Street, I walked through the doors and I was seeing these revolving doors that moved around. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? How do I get through these doors? I seriously felt like Crocodile Dundee, like, oh my God. But in all seriousness, every day I'm excited to go to work, to learn more and do more. A huge thank you to my manager, Diana Nicholson, and my mentors, Louise Kraus and Maria Ciachico, who have been there since day 1 of my internship. Thanks for always encouraging me to do better and pushing me out of my comfort zone. My first internship, you would have struggled to get a conversation out of me. This current internship, I'm developing Caltech's first Reconciliation Action Plan, and recruiting for positions across Australia with Caltex. Thanks for showing me and my community back home that just because you come from a small town doesn't mean you have to have small horizons. Never would I or anyone from my community would have thought this opportunity would be possible. So thank you, Caltex, for dedicating so much time into my professional development and proving the impossible possible. A lot of people could only dream of having this opportunity. Look around you. There's approximately 2,000 people here tonight, and in some way, each of you have contributed to the success of CareerTrackers and our internship experience. These people are dedicated and committed to helping us succeed and get the best possible head start over other university students. I want you all to have a good think about why you're here tonight, and the next time you feel like giving up, think of the many people who would have loved to be in the position you are in right now, and our elders who were never given this opportunity. And most importantly, thank whether it be your CEO, manager, mentor, or CareerTrackers student advisor for devoting their time to help you succeed. I hope everyone else cherishes this opportunity as much as I do and give back to your own community, whether it be going to the school and speaking to the students or sharing your experience about university. To my fellow interns and CareerTrackers family, continue to dream big. You can only succeed or learn. I assure you, the outcomes will far outweigh the obstacles. Lastly, and most importantly, I would like to thank my amazing parents who are both here tonight, on table 15 over there. And I forgot my sister on table 19. Mum, you are the strongest woman I know. You have always worked 2, sometimes 3 jobs just to put food on the table for us kids, and have continuously pushed me through university. Dad, thanks for the amazing upbringing and many life skills learned along the way that I will cherish forever. Thanks for always pushing me to get a good education, and of course, thanks for always putting money in my bank. Thank you.